Okay, here we go with this buckwheat and sorghum flour pancake batter. 1 cup of buckwheat and 2 cups of sorghum flour. This is the base of the recipe. Very simple measurements. We're going to add our leavening agent, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, and for a little bit of sweetness, we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of pure monk fruit powder, but you can add up to 1/2 cup of sweetener of your choice. Go ahead and whisk these dry ingredients together. You just want to mix it thoroughly. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit lumpy. And then you're going to add your wet ingredients. We're going to start with 1 cup of yogurt. That's raw milk yogurt, so it looks a little bit different, but store-bought yogurt will be just fine. And then we're going to add milk. The recipe calls for 1 to 1 1/2 cups, but we're going to start with 1 cup and then adjust the consistency a little bit later. Okay, add your eggs. It's 6 total eggs. Really nice protein-packed breakfast, lots of nice healthy fats and traditional ingredients. It's very delicious, very fulfilling breakfast. Go ahead and whisk all these wet ingredients together. And at this point, we are going to thoroughly combine these before we add any butter or additional milk. We really want to see what the consistency is going to be like. And I just want to draw your attention to the fact that there's yogurt in this recipe. So this batter is actually going to ferment the longer that it sits. So in the refrigerator, it can keep for up to 1 week. It becomes more and more digestible the longer it sits and soaks. So it's a great make-ahead batter that you can bring out and use throughout your week. Here's the melted butter. I've gone ahead and melted it right on my griddle, which is nice because I can cook my pancakes in what's left behind. Whisk that butter in completely. Really get it completely and thoroughly emulsified in the batter. And you can see the batter consistency starts to change. It looks a little taffy-like. It's a little bit thick at this point. So I'm kind of testing for the thickness. I can see that it's leaving behind quite a bit of streaks when I'm whisking. I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup more milk. And this is starting to look really perfect. Basically, you want the consistency to be that of about a thin cake batter. So you might be familiar with the term trace, which is where if you lift the utensil out of the batter, it leaves a trace behind that doesn't immediately reabsorb into the batter. And that's about how you want this pancake batter to be. Think along the lines of a light trace. We're just going to go ahead and cook these on a medium-low griddle. So it looks pretty hot. You can see a lot of steam and the griddle was smoking a little bit, but it is medium-low. It's just thoroughly preheated. Once you start to see bubbles in the center and a little bit of cooked batter around the edge, it's time to flip them. And they take about 60 seconds per side. You can see all these nice nooks and crannies in the pancake. Great for holding butter and maple syrup. Here's the blueberry version. Now these take a little bit longer to cook. Obviously I've cut out some time in my video, but they take about 90 seconds per side. And you really want the blueberries to have some liquid batter around them before you flip it, or right when you're flipping it, because you want that batter to drip down onto the griddle and protect the berries from burning on the other side. So don't cook it thoroughly on the first side. Go ahead and make sure it's just evenly cooked. And check your blueberries to make sure there's no raw batter around them, especially if you're using frozen blueberries. So you can see here I just have some nice buttery blueberry pancakes, and I'm going to just sweeten mine with a little bit more monk fruit powder, maple syrup, or a fruit compote, honey, anything would be good on these. Enjoy!